Hi everyone, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday crochet tutorial with me, Laura, and in today's video I'm sharing this adorable teeny tiny little ghost which is perfect as a keyring or even earrings and great for Halloween. So let's begin, shall we? Okay, so for this tutorial you're going to need some black yarn and some white yarn. So you can also make different coloured little ghosts if you want to, and this is a really quite an easy beginner friendly project, so do give it a try if you're quite new to crochet. And with that I'm using a 3mm crochet hook. So this is a sport baby weight yarn, so it's a yarn weight of 2. But you can use any yarn that you like and hook that's suitable for the yarn you're using. Also going to need a pair of scissors and a yarn tapestry needle as well. That's one with a big eye at the end. Carry your yarn. And also it's a good idea to have a tiny little bit of stuffing as well. So, or you can use yarn scraps for stuffing. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so you can either use the magic circle or chain 4 method. So we're going to do the chain 4 method, which is a little bit easier for beginners. So we're going to do our slip knot. And if you're completely new to crochet, do check out my beginner tutorials and then coming back to this video. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, chain 4. Let's put our hook into our first chain. Bring the yarn through the first chain and straight through the loop on your hook. And you've got a tiny little loop of chains. And into the center of there, we're going to work 7 single crochets. This pattern's in US terminology, so in UK terms, it's going to be double crochet. We're going to start off with a little chain 1 though, just for leverage. Don't count that as a stitch. So putting your hook into the center, not your first chain, which can look bigger. Into the center, grab the yarn and just wrapping it around the chains, work a single crochet. And we want 7 of those, so that's 1, 2. So if you're working a magic circle, just work 7 single crochet into your magic circle instead. 3. And I'm just carrying the tail end as well, which helps bring in the circle at the end, the hole at the end. 4, 5, 6, and one more. 7. Okay, and because I carried that tail, you can just pull in that hole a little bit. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first single crochet. So bring the yarn through there and straight through the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. And I'm sorry I'm working with white yarn, which doesn't show up best on camera. So ghost, why do you have to be white? Maybe I should have made a pink one. Okay, so then what we're going to do is a little chain 1. Again, don't count that as a stitch. And going back into the same single crochet, just slip stitch into, go back into there. We're going to do 2 single crochet. We're going to do an increase, so 1 single crochet and another one in the same stitch. 2. And we're going to work 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're doubling up our stitch count from 7 to 14. So 2 in the next stitch. 1 and another one, 2. So 2 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, 2 in the next stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, it's just coming up to the end of the round. Sometimes it looks like there's an extra stitch here. This is your previous slip stitch, or what I call the fake stitch. So be careful not to work into that. Check you have a stitch count of 14, then find your first single crochet and slip stitch into there to join the round. Okay, so that's the end of round 2. Now we're going to do 2 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we'll do a little chain 1, don't count that as a stitch. Starting in the same stitch as your previous slip stitch, that first single crochet, we're going to do 1 single crochet. And we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're keeping a stitch count of 14. We're going to do that for 2 rounds, okay? 2 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I shall do that, then I'll come back, so take a little time. Okay, just going up to the end of the second round, and then we're going to slip stitch to join. Be careful not to work into that fake stitch, the dreaded fake stitch. And there we go. So that's the end of our, should have 4 rounds now. So we just did 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to tuck our tail end on the inside because it's annoying. All adds to stuffing as well. And we're going to do a little chain 1 to begin. And we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 7 stitches. So go back into the same stitch you just slip stitched into, do a single crochet, and we'll do 1 single crochet in the first 7. So 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5, next stitch 6, and then next stitch 7. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the first 7. Then we're going to chain 3 and we're going to create some tiny little hands. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to slip stitch in the same stitch as our previous single crochet. So go back into there, just do a slip stitch. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that again. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch in the same previous single crochet as your last single crochet. Okay, slip stitch into there. And then you should have 5 stitches left. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the last 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then slip stitch to join. Okay, so got some little hands appearing. So the next round is a little bit more complicated. It's probably the most complicated for beginners, but give it a try. Start off with a chain 1, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 7, just like before, starting in the same stitch as your previous slip stitch. So the first 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that should bring you up to your chain 3. So what you want to do now is you want to skip your chain 3 and skip the tiny little slip stitch that you did as well, and find the next proper single crochet. So, but what you want to do is just bend forward the chains because you want them on the outside. So the first thing to do is find that single crochet, which is here, and then just bring the yarn through. And when you've got the 2 loops on your hook, then just pop your chains to the front of your hook, give it a nice tug, and then complete your single crochet, and that should get your little hand easily on the outside. Then you've got another single crochet, so we do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and that brings you up to your next chain 3. So we're going to skip the chain 3 and the tiny slip stitch, find the first proper single crochet, and to do that you just want to find the 2 vertical bars just underneath it to help it appear. So put your hook into there, bring the yarn through, and again once you've got the 2 loops we're just going to pop that chain 3 to the front, give it a nice tug, and finish your single crochet. And then you've got both hands on the outside. Then you should have 4 stitches left after that, so do 1 single crochet in the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then slip stitch to join. Okay, so hopefully it looks something like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 2 together, and we're going to do that 4 times. We're going to start closing our little ghost up now. So do a little chain 1 to begin, and single crochet the first 2 stitches together, starting in that same stitch as your previous slip stitch. I'm going to do normal decreases, so as opposed to the invisible decrease. So we're going to put our hook into that first stitch, bring the yarn through, into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, we'll do that 3 more times. Into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, next stitch, bring the yarn through, pull through all 3. Let's do that twice more. Pull through all 3. And one more time, just getting those little hands out the way. You might want to flatten your work to make it easier to see the stitches. To the next stitch, into the next stitch, pull through all 3. Okay, and then what we want to do is 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the next 3. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So 2 single crochet, it's an increase. So 1 single crochet and another single crochet in the same stitch. Okay, and we're going to do that in the next stitch as well. So 2 single crochet in the next stitch as well. 1 and 2, and then you should have 1 stitch left, and I don't, so that's very interesting. Why don't I have 1 stitch left? Okay, so I just had to go back and find out where I missed a stitch. So I missed a stitch. You should have 1 stitch left, and in the last stitch we're just going to do 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet in the last stitch, and then slip stitch to join in your first decrease. Okay, so what you want to do now is just bring up a loop and get some stuffing, and we're going to stuff our little ghost. It helps to use blunt scissors and just put some stuffing inside your little ghost. Okay, so once you've stuffed your ghost, rejoin your hook, and we'll do a little chain 1 to begin, so don't count that as a stitch. And we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together 3 times this time. So starting in the same stitch, you just slip stitch into, and then into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 to single crochet those 2 stitches together. Do that twice more, so into the next stitch and the next stitch, pull through all 3, and then one more time, into the next stitch, into the next stitch, pull through all 3 for a decrease. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet in the next stitch, so 3 all in the same stitch. 1, 2, squeeze in another one into the same stitch. 3, so you got 3 in there. Then we finish up with, should have 2 stitches left, and we do 1 single crochet in the last 2. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch and a single crochet in the last stitch. Slip stitch to join in your first decrease, and then we are finished. So we can cut our yarn, leave a little bit for sewing, pull that through. Sewing, and maybe if you want to add a little loop at the top to turn it into a keyring. What we're going to do then is get your yarn needle, and we're just going to draw string closed and almost sew it closed flat as well. So we're going to go into the next stitch, out through the next stitch, give that a little Oops, give that a little tug. Into the next stitch. Out through the next stitch. Into the next stitch. Out through the next stitch. Okay, keep giving it a little tug. Then moving it round into the next stitch. Out through the next stitch. And then when you get to about here, we're just going to sew over to the other side. And then again, sew over. So we sew it closed flat. Give it a nice tug. And the last two, squeeze in another little stitch. There we go. And then we can just hide our tail end. Maybe one more time. Okay. Hide your tail end by sewing over somewhere and then just pulling slightly, cutting your tail end and then giving it a squeeze. The tail end should be hidden on the inside. So there we go, that is our completed little ghost. What he needs now though is some eyes and a little mouth if you want to add that. So we're going to get 2 strands of the black yarn. These scissors are very blunt. 2 strands of black yarn, and into the middle of there we're going to tie a knot into the center. Just one this time. Do that for the other strand as well. And what we're going to do is get our yarn needle, thread that on, and sewing about 2 rows up, 1 stitch over from the hand, we're going to go in, just come out somewhere else. Okay, and don't pull it completely tight. The knot should catch on the outside, but not completely. So we're going to thread the other end, but you want to sew slightly over so the knot catches on something on the outside. So I'm just going to sew slightly over. I've had too much coffee this morning. Okay, and then that should catch really nicely on the outside, like so. And then we can just cut our tail ends. You may want to secure this a little bit more, maybe sew it a bit more. I'm just going to, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to cut those tail ends, hide them on the inside. Do it for the same for the other eye, but this time we're going to create a little mouth with the leftover tail end. So again, about 1, 2, 3 stitches over. Sew one end in. See that knot's gone on the inside, so you have to be careful. Then sew slightly over, catching some of the yarn, the fabric. There we go, so a little eye. Then choosing the longest tail end, we're going to sew back in and create a tiny little mouth somewhere. Just a little straight line. Just sew over to about here. Back out to the other side. He's got a bit of a wonky smile. We'll leave him with a wonky smile, I think he's cute. And then we'll just cut the tail ends. Hide those on the inside. And there we go, there is our tiny little ghost with his cute little wonky face to go with our little bit neater, more smiley ghost this side. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you managed to follow along and make some cute teeny tiny ghosts. Do share them on Instagram if you're on Instagram with the hashtag #HappyBerryCrochet. And a huge thank you to my Member Plus members and my Patreon members for helping make these videos possible. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video, share this video, spread the word of Happy Berry, and I will see you soon for some more crochet crafting fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.